except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
The call letters. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Welcome to it. We love doing this. This is what we do every morning, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., so you know what's going on one street over from where you live. And my friend, Tiffany Thomson, my sister in Jesus Christ. I love her so much. And just so glad you came into my life. And it's all because of this radio show.
It's true.
It's true. I love it. And I mean, I hire kids to do things and take care of my dogs. And just, it's just, you're such a blessing to me. And we just got to have more time to hang out.
Yes.
We got to make some time.
Well, when you're done with all this teaching certificates. And
we were talking about my world this week, or this year has been. It's been crazy, and it's not over yet, so but it's good. It's good. It's just very busy. And now we're into Thanksgiving. We're having a big family reunion at my house a week from Friday. And I don't know who's coming. There could be 50, there could be 20, there could be 100 people. I don't know. Well, I've got a massive family. I'm trying to get the word out to anybody related to us. Come, it's not Thanksgiving Day. Let's all get together. And so we're trying to establish something. And I'm, in honor of my parents and all those who went before us who did this. And I'm trying to start this. So it's the Vivio Thanksgiving Throwdown. And so anybody connected to us in any way, and that means like my daughter-in-law's coming with her mom and sister and all the people.
Yay.
Bring them all. You just make sure you bring food, because I'm doing turkey and dressing as much as I can make, but, we're going to have food, so you better bring food. I've got some of my Egyptian friends I've invited because they're like family to me, they're immigrants, and they're going to bring Egyptian food, they say, and we'll see, but they're going to be intimidated getting here because they don't like to get out and drive very far.
So we used to, my dad's cousins owned a bowling alley in southern Utah.
Nice.
And we used to go and have Thanksgiving at the bowling alley every other year growing up. And that was kind of the same thing, like bring everybody, just bring food with you. And we had this big old spread and we bowled and we hung out with long lost cousins we had never met. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
See, that's what I want to do here. Yeah. And I'm just trying to get it all together. And this is the first, I've already heard from my sweet nephew up in Kansas City. They're not going to make it, which doesn't surprise me because it's been a busy year because, with Mama passing right after Christmas, we had to deal with all the things with their homes. My brother, they own it, but we still had to clean the house out and do stuff. And so he was here some. And so, I gave him this year off. I said, next year, you better be here. So. But anyway, have you got big Thanksgiving plans?
We have some friends of ours just kind of put out anybody who doesn't have a place to go. And we're like, well, that's us. So we're going to some friend's house. And we won't know anybody else but them because anyway, so they're like a split faith family. So she goes to one church and he comes to our church, and so I guess the other people are coming from her church, and then we're coming from his church, and so it'll be really fun.
Well, y'all can come out Friday if you want. Bring some food.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Our family, come on. I mean, just and I'm, come out and hang out on the farm. It'll be fun. But it'll be a hoot because it's going to be a lot of people at this point. I think. I mean, I may be wrong, and that's fine too if it's just my kids, you know. But I think it's going to be fun. And then we're doing Christmas, guys. I'm a boy mama. I give up the holidays. Take the pressure off your family. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have them Thanksgiving. You don't have to have them Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Have it another day. And when I finally let go of that, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And we have Christmas really as soon as possible. So we're having Christmas the second Saturday. And we're gonna just like it's Christmas Day.
I love it.
You know, and then they are free to do their thing in their homes and all of that. But I mean, I've got kids, our immediate family is in 4 states. So you gotta loosen it up. I mean, we all created these holidays anyway. There's no, there's nothing sacred. I mean, it's sacred about the message of Jesus, of course.
Right.
But you should be celebrating that all the time. And I'm going to really embrace Hanukkah this year. Because Hanukkah starts the day, I think it's the 26th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's after
Hanukkah's
Christmas this
after
year.
Christmas. Last year it was like right at the
Because
the Jewish calendar. I don't understand it, but I'll try.
I love it because the Jewish calendar, from my understanding, honors nature too. So so it's very much focused on how nature is.
Where's the moon?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What's happening with the moon?
I just absolutely adore that.
Well,
so
Sukkot, the temple, the tabernacle. What do they call it? Sukkot is the Jewish word, and it's like they just did that, and where they camp out,
Oh yeah.
And that is based upon when you see the full moon. I think that's it. And I don't think it's going on right now, but it's something there's something to do with the moon, and I'm terrible, but there's something to that. So
I love the day that we live in where you can do research and learn about all these things. Like when I was a kid, it's like, what did my family do? And we're just going to do the same thing my family did. And now I'm learning about all the different traditions and different faiths. And anyway, I think it's beautiful.
Well, see, and that's one of the things and we'll get to the point. Tiffany's here for a reason. We'll talk about that in a minute.
That's all right.
But I'm just visiting with my friend, and this is what we do. This is a Jesus station, so we're going to get some Jesus on you. But that was one thing I was telling somebody the other day. I said, my dad studied just extensively the Word. I mean, I've got his library. I brought his library here. But
I know we helped you move some of that library.
Yes, you did. I love you, darling. I love you so much. And those boys, your boys, as a matter of fact, took them books up them steps. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But we turned his old office space into, we're going to have like a library section kind of in that old barn that we have. It's an office building. But you think about my father was limited by his library.
Right.
Or the library he had access to, or the library he had been, and a lot of that comes into, I'm breaking out of, I'm a member of the Church of Christ, but I'm very much breaking out of the tradition and a lot of the things I've been taught, not because I'm trying to be, it's because I'm learning new things. I'm going, ooh, I don't think we have that quite right.
Mm-hmm.
And the women issue is enormous with me, and I'm not going to get into that, but you just can't believe some of the things I've learned. It's mind blowing, but it's because I have access to the world's library now.
Right.
And I can study it just like a Berean to see if it is true. And man, it is just, wow. It has just opened up a whole new world, but we're not limited by our libraries anymore. We have the library of the world if you just will dig in and study it. So it's fascinating. It's just a fun time to be alive.
It really is.
Sister? I love it.
Me too.
I love it. So enjoy your holidays. That's kind of what we're talking about. What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Christmas? The date, it doesn't matter. Just be with your family and remember the reason for it. Giving praise and thanksgiving, then the holiness of the gift of Christ our Savior, and then that renewal of the new year that you have every breath you take. You have a promise of renewal if you'll just take it. So anyway,
I love it.
There you go. Tiffany's here. What's up?
It totally ties in. Gratitude is huge. It's a huge you can look at the science of gratitude. You can also just look at what it does in people's lives and see it. But as I work with moms in Safe Baby Court, I have them keep gratitude journal and start practicing gratitude because we see that practicing gratitude builds resilience against drug abuse, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Is
Yes.
substance misuse disorder is the new term, SMD. Anyway, substance misuse disorder. Once we start treating it like a medical issue, like it is, then we can start to actually destigmatize substance misuse, and we can actually get real help.
Yeah.
When it has a stigmatism, people try to hide it and try to pretend it's not a problem. And so anyway, yeah. So I am the Safe Baby Court coordinator. So I do work a lot with families that are living in active addiction, but I also am the president of the board chair of the Robertson County Prevention Coalition. So that's why I got my RCPC shirt on today. See, there's the camera.
There you go.
Anyway, so the Robertson County Prevention Coalition, what we're doing today is we have the National Guard stashed away trailer is going to be parked at the Board of Education today from 10 to 6 o'clock. And anybody can go. That's over 18. It's open to the public. And what the stashed away trailer is it is like you walk in, it looks like a kid's bedroom, bathroom, and there are a lot of things in that room that would give you a red flag. If you were a parent or a guardian or somebody concerned and involved in the life of a youth, it would help you to see the red flags that we want to be looking for, because a lot of times kids are struggling with trauma or whatever has gone on in their lives, and so they're hurting and they go to substances to ease that pain. And then, or they're experimenting and they're curious and so if we can catch it early on in a child's life, they have a lot better chances of longevity and recovery. And it's just like anything else. If you catch it early on, the long-term consequences are a lot lower than if we just let things go and go and go and go and go. Mm-hmm. So we're encouraging everybody 18 years old and older to go to the Board of Education today between the hours of 10 and 6 and to be able to walk through that trailer and to be able to learn and educate ourselves. There's a lot of, things are always changing, but some things are the same, and so, just like, kids are vaping in the middle of school, and it's pretty hard to detect sometimes. And so I don't know exactly what's going to be on this trailer, but, so, there's, the vape pens that can actually really write. So kids are using those in school and then vaping in the middle of class. So those types of things, they're going to start to show you what those things look like, so you know how to look for them. And a lot of this stuff you can just get on Amazon. It's just, we have a little kit as the Robertson County Prevention Coalition, and we have a trailer. So we've got a little kit and we've got a trailer. We're trying to get to having what they have here, and that's actually why we're bringing it up, because the schools are going to get involved with helping us build it out, and we're wanting to get the community involved, those to help us build this out so that we can take it to Friday Night Market, or we can take it to the fair or stuff like that, and educate more adults on what they need to be looking for when they're involved with children.
Well, and the Red Ribbon Week, the proceeds from Red Ribbon Week went to help fund that.
Yes.
And that's something that Sergeant Rippey, our SRO, one of our SROs, had been talking about. That's what the whole Red Ribbon Week. There was, you would give $1 to be able to wear a hat or something.
Mm-hmm.
The kids could do little monetary things. All of that money went to getting this trailer built. Right,
and we're going to have a Venmo there today so that you can donate today also when you come. And yeah, that will all go. We do have some money, but it's not enough ever. It's never enough. Yeah. So that's why we're trying to get as many things donated, money donated, people involved donate their time. So that's what we're trying to do, so that we can pull all of our resources together and have ours finally built out. We've been holding on to it for a few years, and then we can educate. There's prevention's two parts. It's education and connection. And so the more we can educate and the more we connect with these youth, the bigger impact we'll have on the prevention side.
Well, that's something I talk to my kids. I love that they invited me to be a part of the Recovery Court Board, because it allows me to talk to my kids about it. because I take a day off whenever we have a graduation, and I tell the kids, this is what I'm doing. I even brought some kids one time. That was not really a good idea. We didn't do that again. It just was a little bit. The timing was just very awkward. But we're also doing a remembrance ceremony. We did one a couple of years ago, and we're going to start doing them in the spring as a reoccurring thing. I've been talking to Megan and Althea about that, and that's our plan. But it opens up the conversation just to know that, hey, we're paying attention. And I would love, I'm going to try to I'm trying to reorganize my day, because I really want to check out the statutory trailer, because I want to see what this vape stuff looks like. Because the kids may have it right in front of me and I don't have a clue, because I've never been around it, And so I just don't know. I mean, there's some things I can spot, because I grew up in the 60s, y'all. Come on. Come on. And a lot, like you said, a lot hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that. I know what pot smells like, okay? I mean, that's a giveaway. Most people do.
Smell that at the Dollar Tree.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Sometimes it blows my mind how bold people are. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Last time I was at the Dollar Tree, I was in line with somebody that I swear I was getting a contact. I just been in line with them. I was like, woo, very potent.
I had that happen at Dollar General just a couple of weeks ago. I'm in line, and somebody came in, and I was like, oh my goodness. I'll tell you what's sad is my husband, he, helps coach with Coopertown, the middle school football. And he also helped last year, particularly, he was filling in while they were trying to find somebody to do basketball. So he ended up coaching basketball for just a little bit. Twice when I went to watch, because I love basketball, and twice when I went to watch them play, as I was coming in the parking lot, people smoking it in the parking lot, and then I see them go in, and it's parents of the kids that are on the court. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I've got Judge Joel Perry coming in tomorrow. And that's one of the things he talks a lot about, is one of the hardest things in his court is watching this generational abuse, because it's something that there are so many kids in addiction that the first time they got high was with their parents.
Oh, absolutely. Family bonding.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind. And I mean, this statutory trailer helps us to at least be able to identify it, And I think know a lot. There's a whole lot I don't know. And so I'm trying. I'm supposed to be, I ain't going to tell you about my schedule today, but it's kind of getting adjusted where I might get to go. So anyway, I'm going to try to see it, but I'm excited. So you said we have a trailer? But
we have a trailer, but it's an empty trailer right now.
Okay.
Yeah, the Robertson County Prevention Coalition does. And we have a generator to run like the lights and stuff when we get it all built out. So we've got a few of those things that we've been able to purchase in the past with grants. And so we've got some money, but we need more money to be able to build it out.
We need a builder that wants to do this.
That would be great.
Has leftover stuff from your site. We were roofing contractors for 20 years. When we closed down our roofing company, just the extra materials we had on hand that were left over from jobs, y'all know I'm right, guys, builders. You've got leftover materials you could probably help build this thing out with. So because we're just talking a trailer.
Yeah,
so it looks like that. Oh yeah,
we want it to look like a bedroom when you walk in, but it doesn't have to be functional. So we want a sink, but it doesn't have to work or anything like that. So obviously sinks probably work, but you know what I'm saying? We want it to be as functional as to look as much like a child's bedroom and maybe access bathroom stuff.
This is not a hard build.
No, it shouldn't be hard at all.
We're talking some 2x4s, some sheetrock, paint.
Yeah,
and then the furniture.
Yeah.
This is not a hard build.
We can find furniture on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. I've
got some at my barn you can have.
There you go.
I don't know if you'd want it, but I got some nice stuff. But anyway.
Yeah.
But this is not a hard build. We should be able to get this done.
I think so too. And I really think the way that the community has kind of come around, the excitement around it, and hopefully, we get some donations today that we can purchase stuff. We would really like it to be able to have at least air conditioning, because a lot of times you have those things out in the summer months. And so, but we've been starting to talk to some air conditioning companies and see if they'll donate. It doesn't have to be the best unit, but donate a unit or something. So
those split units, those are great. I don't know how expensive they are, but they're pretty economical, and they and you use them only when you need them, and they work really well.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on getting one of those and putting it in my little bathroom on my barn.
Nice.
We're gonna in that barn, the little dairy barn.
Yeah.
We're going to redo that bathroom to where it's open all the time. So if you're out there, there's a bathroom.
Oh, that works. Yeah, nice.
So because I mean, a lot of times people come out to fish and we're not there, and they took a field trip out there. Caleb Stratton, they took some kids from Springfield science class out there to do like creek stuff and everything.
Oh yeah.
And I told Caleb, I said, he goes, yeah, I was kind of thinking about the bathroom, and I was like, well, we're going to fix that hopefully by spring, but. We'll have bathroom back up and running to where there's at least a bathroom you can access out there. But anyway, so I don't know. I was chasing around. Everybody just laughs when they listen to me. They're like, how did you get there, LaVern? I don't know. It's just my head.
Yeah, we were talking about bathrooms. We were talking about having leftover stuff.
I couldn't follow the trail.
I know.
We started talking about the air conditioning.
That's right.
And how I've been looking into the split units because I want to put an air conditioner in that bathroom.
In your bathroom. See?
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
It all comes back around. And then upstairs where I have my daddy's library. So anyway, I want a couple of those little split units. But anyway, it makes sense in my head, y'all. Come on.
It does make sense. It makes sense a lot. So,
but that's today. Tell me the hours again. If you want to see the Stashed Away trailer, if you want to know what you're looking for, and all of us, we've actually today have we have our staff meeting, and we're going to dismiss early. And she is our Dr. Osborne's encouraging us. They're not making us, but saying, please go by and see this.
yes.
And if you go see it, then you're exempt from the next staff meeting.
That's something hurt.
That's very good.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Roberts County School District, for supporting us.
That is just Dr. Osborne at Greenbrier High School. So, but anyways, we got to give credit where credit's due for Dr. Osborne on that, because I thought that was brilliant. I thought, ooh, that'd get it done.
Yeah.
Because basically, if you're not where you can go see the Stashed Away trailer today, we're going to discuss it in what they're doing with it on the December 4th meeting. But she says, if you go,
then you're exempt.
From the meeting.
Well, Stacy Young, she works for the school district, has been very instrumental in helping us get this going and stuff. She's got a heart for prevention, and she's amazing. And I wish she could have been here with me today, but she said she could not come this early in the morning. So
come on.
So yeah, but
early.
For some people. Anyway, yeah, so we're super excited at the support that we've gotten. But yeah, it's at the Board of Education. It's parked there. You cannot go in if you are under 18, though. We do not want to give children ideas.
Oh, that's
and
brilliant.
So yeah, it's only for adults. And
that's really smart. Yeah.
So if you're bringing your kids with you, make sure that they can stay outside by themselves. Or you tag team with somebody else and somebody can watch somebody kids while somebody else goes in. I would love for parents of young kids to come so they can be ready and prepared, but I understand that this is probably really more like the stage of life I'm in, where I have 4 teenagers. These are the things that are really important to me right now. So absolutely, I'm excited. We're doing some great things. We've got a great group of passionate people that are volunteering their time with the Prevention Coalition, and so we're super excited about all the work that's happening, and prevention's huge. Yeah. Like, I started getting into prevention after I had done child welfare for many years, and I just realized, like, if we could somehow wave a magic wand and like all the drugs in the United States would disappear, like how much lower our budget could be. I don't know why I tied it into money instead of people's lives being better, but
people listen, yeah.
Well, no, exactly. I was just like, most of our cases in child welfare have substance misuse disorder, substance misuse disorder. I can keep saying that wrong. Old tongues take a minute to retrain, but substance misuse disorder, and so most cases. That is, very few cases over the 20 some odd years that I've been working in and out of child welfare have I seen a case that didn't have some type of substance misuse involved. And then our frontline workers, a lot of what they deal with are people who are altered because of substances they're misusing. And anyway, so we would have, this. Just a different world.
Yeah, we would. And it's just it's a very difficult question because it's as old as time, the abuse of substances. I mean, it really is. It's as old as time, and it's just trying to figure out how to help those that have a medical issue with it. just like we all have our things that we are sensitive to, and some people are not sensitive to. I can't. Some people, say they take a pain pill and just instantly euphoria. They make me sick. I don't want them. I've been through my knee replacements and stuff.
Yeah.
I recently had some work on my hand. I just recently. I didn't take a pain. I mean, I took some Tylenol. That was it. And because I don't want that mess. I guess, I'm just almost overzealous about it now. I don't even want it. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
I don't want to give them any money. I don't want to support it. I want to. And they had a prescription for me for, I don't know what it was, but it was some nasty narcotic. And I said, just keep it. And I didn't even take it out of the pharmacy.
Right.
And I said, I've told them not to prescribe it for me. I don't want it. Well, don't you want it just in case? No, I don't. I will be fine.
And a lot of those just in case bottles end up in your cabinet, and we don't lock them up. And so, a teen can be like, I'm bored, or I have friends over and we want to do something fun. Oh, let's see what's in mom's medicine cabinet. Like, I can't tell you how many drug problems start with somebody's got their just in case oxycodone or whatever in their cabinet, and it's not locked up. So lock them up, please. There are lock boxes. We have, as the Robertson County Prevention Coalition, given out a lot of lock boxes here in the community. We will continue to, hopefully we'll get some more money to be able to buy more to continue to do that, because they're very expensive. So we really want to get them to people who can't afford them on their own. So that they can make sure that they're locking up their stuff. And this is really something, we have a lot of grandparents raising kids. This is very common in our community, and probably a lot of communities. And that's just not something that they really thought about when they are raising their kids. And so now that they're on round 2 of raising children, we especially really want to make sure that our grandparents are locking up their substances. I mean, we want everybody to do it, but it's just not on their mind as much.
Well, and like you said, when I was cleaning out mother's stuff, we found quite a stash of pain pills, and she didn't take them either, but they kept prescribing them to her.
Right.
And what I found just breathtaking is they had prescribed, and mother was, a cancer patient. So, I mean, of course, you've got to have some pain medication and things with that. But they had given her these, I don't even know what it was, and they gave her Narcan with it.
Oh, well,
But it just kind of blew my mind. In case you OD,
Right.
I was like, wow. I mean, it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. But I mean, I guess so. And anyway, there's so much we need to do.
There really is.
This is a great place to. I'm just so thinking it was so funny because I knew that the statutory trailer was here. And I was kind of thinking, that would be interesting for the show. And then you put out the email about it. And I'm like, Tiffany will know who can come. And she's like, I can. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're happy. We want to get the word out. We want everybody to have a heart and a mind for prevention. This is one of the things that we really want our name to get out there is Robertson County Prevention Coalition. We just went through a analysis, we're in the middle of it kind of with our coalition. One of the things is people are saying they don't know about us. They don't know that we're out here. They don't know that we're actually doing work. We just went into the schools for Red Ribbon Week. We got over 2,000. We had 2,000 some odd signatures from kids pledging to live a life free of drug and addiction. And we know that, of course, not each one of those kids is probably going to walk that path, but we know that putting it in their mind that they can make that choice, that they can start today to decide whether or not they want to live a life of addiction or live a life free of addiction. And so anyway, so yeah, we're getting out there. We're trying the best. We're all a bunch of just volunteers that also are working full-time jobs and raising families and other volunteer things. And so we would love for anybody to come join us. We meet the second Thursday of each month at noon at the Stokes Brown Public Library, and we always have something to eat. Last week we had All Stars Grill out in White House, and it's a new restaurant. They donated food. The month before that, we had Wingstop that donated food, and so sometimes I just cook a pot of soup and bread, and but we usually have food to eat so that we know you're there on your lunch hour. Second Thursday at noon at the Stokes Brown Public Library. Come join us. Come be a voice in the community to help kids learn that they don't have to walk down the road of addiction.
When we're out of school, I need to be there. I need to be there.
Yeah.
I need to remember that. I will figure out somewhere to write that so I recall it. And but second Thursdays, I mean, there's some second Thursdays we're not in school that I could come, you know, because I mean, y'all give good information that I need in the classroom.
Yeah.
Period. You know, period. So awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else we're missing, sister? I saw Ryan pop in just a minute ago. Ryan Martin's in the house.
Well,
So
we'll let him have a spot.
But everything's still going great with Safe Baby Court.
Yep, absolutely.
New program.
Yeah.
How long have you been in existence now?
Well, I got hired I started in April, and so, but it took us quite a while to get it up and running, and so we've had cases for a couple months now, but yeah, so we're actually going to be on to our next phase. I'll put a plug in for this. If you are involved anything with early childhood, we're going to start basically our own early childhood coalition, but a stakeholders meeting monthly to talk about all things early childhood. And so I'm going to be getting that on the calendar, and it's just going to be a monthly meeting of everybody that cares about making sure that we're pouring into those little babies. The more money and care you put into a child, the younger they are, the less likely, less money you'll have to spend when they're older. So if you don't start putting into them till they're 12, well, there's probably going to be quite a bit of money you have to put into them. But if you put into them at 2 months old and they get their life settled at that age, they're going to cost us a lot less. Again, back to the money.
Speak to the money.
But it's not just cost. That human's life is going to be better because we poured into them as they're younger. So if you care at all about kids getting off to a good start, please reach out to me. My email address is Thomson, Thomson, no P. It's a Scottish spelling, Thomson at RC for Robertson County Courts.com.
Do it one more time.
Thomson at rccourts.com, and I can comment on that later.
Put it on the comments.
Okay, I will.
Maybe I'll see you today later.
All right, let's hope so.
All right,
come visit us.
I'll talk to you later. Happy Thanksgiving. And as Tiffany's making her way out, I'm going to let Ryan make his way in, and then I'm going to take a moment to talk about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. You know, I always say one of the best ways to, contact them, just Google them. I mean, you just do the Google machine. Barry Richards, Exit Prime Realty, Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. You're going to get unique web pages, Facebook pages, because while they're married and they work together and they help each other, they have separate businesses. She is a agent up in White House. He is the broker here in Springfield. They combine those two offices to bring you Exit Prime Realty. And right now, if you go to Rebecca's Facebook page, I love this. I saw this pop up this morning where they're having a Thanksgiving food drive at Exit Prime Realty. And they've got their drop-off location, which is the 23rd. I'm thinking that's Saturday this week. I think it's the 23rd Saturday, isn't it, Ryan? What's the day? Today's the 20th. So that would be the 23rd. And so they're going to have a drop-off location for you to make food donations at 610B Highway 76, White House. And you can go to her page again. This is Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty, to find out more about what you need. And again, this is all non-perishable food items that you want to bring. But this is the food drive time of year. I worked at the Benevolent Center in Madison for about 7 years, and this is when we fill our empty shelves, and we count on it. The people who distribute food in the community, we count on this. Now, we need it all the time, but this is like an extra thing that just really helps us through a really difficult time, because everybody has so much extra need during this time because of the holidays. Kids are out of school and they're eating more, and you want to do more for them. And so this is a great time. We need you to do those food donations all the time, of course, but right now, really a big time. So be a part of the Exit Prime Realty's food drive. They've got their drop-off location again at 610B Highway 76 in White House, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So be a part of that. And if you just want the perfect help in real estate, you're going to find it with Barry and Rebecca Richards. You can contact them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, robertsoncounty.com. Again, he's the broker here. She is the agent up in White House, and they are there to help you, whether it be here. They specialize in Robertson County properties. They've been here for nearly 30 years up in Cross Plains, but they've worked all over, so they know the surrounding counties and areas so very well, and they're from Kentucky. So they're uniquely qualified in so many different ways to help you. You can reach out to them, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, robertsoncounty.com. Got to always mention how Barry's a marketer And so if you want somebody to present your property, man, you can't beat it when you got somebody that worked in marketing for as many years as he did. Here's Rebecca's number, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. When you contact them, please let them know. We appreciate them and let them know. My husband's like, ask Ryan why we don't have sidewalks out in front of Springfield. Different, just silly things like that. Nothing major. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, I've got to drive the new parkway before Ryan comes in. I haven't done it yet.
That's okay.
I haven't needed to, but it's nice. It's there. It's open.
It is open.
Yes.
It's very nice. And of course, I was out of pocket last month. Had a conflict and wasn't able to make it. But one of the fascinating things, I think, after we open that parkway, first of all, it's beautiful. It's a nice stretch of road through there. Yeah. And really the uncertainty, we knew that project began being thought of about 20 years ago, right? Uh-huh. And so trying to determine, okay, we're going to get the word out. It's going to take a while for people to get accustomed to using it. Not sure how many people use it. So we put the traffic counter out there just to kind of gauge usage to see what the initial demand was. And in the first 8.5 days, which is how long the traffic counter was there, it recorded 11,000 vehicles.
Wow.
Quite remarkable.
Wow.
Far surpassing what we thought. So it validated that demand, the need to connect those two highways. I'm sure that traffic count is now soaring way past that average. Yeah. But it was 11,000 vehicles in just a little over a week. So now that it's on GPS, because that was before it was on GPS, before it told you that it's it sent you that way, the GPS
bypass.
Right. Yeah. So now that the GPS apps and app makers have updated their routes, then I'm sure the traffic. But to know that 11,000 vehicles in the first 8.5 days were utilizing that road, let us know that the demand that the numbers showed, the studies showed the demand was needed, and so then it actually validated by the actual demand. We've had a lot of feedback on thanking us for getting that project finally completed because it helps. And Black Patch Drive is one of the most impacted areas because now that alleviates a lot of traffic on Black Patch Drive.
Oh, yeah.
People go straight through. It didn't eliminate traffic on Black Patch Drive by any means, but it alleviated some of the pressure there.
Oh, yeah. I've got to drive it. I just haven't had a need because now if I lived in the Greenbrier Ridgetop area and needed to go to Walmart, I'd be wearing it out. Yeah. I'd be wearing it out. But I live, on the north end of town, so it's a little different. But if you live out on the south end, or I guess that's south. Would that be south?
It's south.
South end. I'm trying to get my map in my head. But I used to could do it without even thinking when I was traffic reporter, but I'm a little rusty.
That's right. That's okay.
But if I were living out on that end of town, I'd be burning it up because, we all go to Walmart all the time. You just have needs there. And, not just Walmart, but Lowe's and Aldi. All those things right there. There's so many, there's so many stores in that cluster just up from where it enters 431 that, I'd be wearing it out. Yeah. I would be wearing it out. And so I can imagine that I knew when we first started talking about it, I was like, man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I will have need of it, but, and just access to the hospital. If you're coming from that end of town and you have an emergency, think how much more quickly you can get to medical.
Much quicker.
Yeah.
Much quicker.
Just the emergency response to our medical center, to Northcrest. So nonetheless, I think it's outstanding. So very good.
It's very helpful, and we're glad to. Now we've got to do some things. The street lights there's some things that aren't finished yet, but the roadway is open, and so we'll be doing some other stuff out there. But it's been impactful so far, and that's what I think is validating to some of our staff. They work hard on these projects and years of work. That was years of work into that project, and then so seeing the citizens appreciate that is really validating for the work our staff put into that.
Very good. So Ryan Martin's here. He is our city manager. They had the mayor and alderman's meeting last night. Just real quick, I want to just ask you a question. Okay, so the election results, when does that take place? So did you have some aldermen that were new? I know we are going to have a new mayor and all of that. So when does that transition happen?
Yeah, so we have,
because I don't have a clue.
Well, that's okay. It's one of the things I wanted to discuss today, so that worked out. So we have 2 outgoing board members, Ann Williams, our mayor, and Lisa Arnold, our alderman for Ward 5. Okay. So we recognized those last night. Last night would have been their last meeting. So
Okay.
our terms for our elected officials run through November the 30th.
Okay.
So on December 1 begins the new term. So we'll be doing a swearing-in ceremony. We'll be holding a swearing-in ceremony for our newly elected board members as well as our re-elected board members. We had a couple of board members that were re-elected, and so we'll be swearing them in as well.
How often do you run? How often do you have elections?
It's every 2 years, staggered.
Okay.
It's 4-year term, but the board is staggered. 4 of them run, and then 2 years later, the other 3 are up.
Okay, so Anne, even though she had the title of mayor, was considered a board member.
She is. So it's our board
I
of
think I knew that.
it's our
Okay.
board of mayor and aldermen. So
Okay.
the way our charter is structured, of course, being a city manager form of government,
Right.
is we have 7 board members. One of them is the mayor, so that's the person that's elected at large. The charter says that's a chief elected official and the ceremonial head of the government.
Okay.
And the other 6 are elected in their wards or districts, right?
Okay.
And so all of those each have a vote, legislative vote on the body, and so all 7 of them combined make up the board of mayor and aldermen.
Okay. Well, because I want to get Ann in just to say hi before she finishes up, and then got to get Buzzy in here.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know Buzzy at all. He came up to me at an event and introduced himself, and I knew he was running, but I don't know him. I know him from a musician standpoint. He's an incredible musician, but other than that, I don't know him. So I need to have him in.
Yeah.
So, you know, because we stayed out of the political campaign stuff. We dipped our toe in that water a couple of years ago as a radio station and saw, we don't need to do that. This is a Christian broadcast facility. We're just going to stay out of the races, and then when everything's settled, then we can bring everybody in and say, okay, what's going on? And so if you just to let you know, if you're running for something and you've got an opponent, we're not going there because we don't want to have to do that equal time thing. And so that can be time consuming. So we stay away from that. But nonetheless, I'll get Ann in here one more time, and then we'll have to get Buzzy on the schedule too. So that'll be fun. He's a hoot.
I think one of the most refreshing things that I've seen is, you know, we all know what is happening from a civility standpoint on the national level and what the discourse is there. Locally, it's a breath of fresh air.
It really is.
Last night, I mean, Ann, you know, from the dais, from the chairing the board member, Buzzy was there, and she expressed her support for him, and she's rooting for him, and he's been very gracious. And Buzzy's been a servant of the city. Buzzy's been on the planning commission and BZA. So just to see folks that, you know, to know that, and that'd be my message to everyone. We don't have to hate each other.
No.
You know, that we just, it's not required. We're led to believe sometimes that we're supposed to hate each other, and we don't have to. And that was excuse me, very appreciative of Ann with that, doing that last night, and she said she's rooting for Buzzy because she's here, you know, she's a resident here and she wants to see Springfield succeed, so she wants to see him succeed. So just to know that we don't,
Amen.
You know, that civility is something that I think is lost, and to know we have it here in Springfield is refreshing.
Danny Ashley and I will often refer to each other as he's my favorite Democrat and I'm his favorite Republican, though I tend to kind of just go on the side of being a patriot, but you know, we won't go there. All right, let's go. Let's get talking to about, because we did that last night. You covered that ceremonial part of it, and then you'll have the swearing in. You said again on what time?
It'll be on December the 3rd.
That won't be a meeting. That will be.
It won't be a meeting. No, it'll be a ceremony for the elected officials just to get sworn in for them and their families or whoever want to attend that. So, but that'll be officially them taking the oath of office to begin their new term. Some of them it'll be their first term. So Stephanie Bradley, I think I've kind of left off in the middle. Stephanie Bradley ran unopposed for the vacated Ward 5 seat, which was Lisa Arnold's seat. So Stephanie Bradley will be joining our board, and Buzzy Poole will be joining as mayor. So those are we had 2 that were outgoing and 2 that'll be joining in December.
Okay, well there you go. And because I don't know, we've talked about this, the structure of it, because I know you're city manager, and so it's different, and it's just trying to understand it. And you've been so great. Colton Eskew's on here, and he was like, "Thank you for explaining that, right?" Because I mean, you don't really understand it, because every city has the option of setting it up how they want to.
That's exactly right.
That's how it works.
And that's what there are very few cities that are set up in Tennessee that are set up exactly the same. And we could go into a 3-hour long discourse on that, but that's exactly right. And that's the message. We've had that issue come up with some folks that are doing research, and they'll call and say, well, how, you know, well, why am I getting different answers from every city I call? I was like, well, because everybody does it differently, right?
Yeah.
So
And that's their right to do that. Isn't America great, y'all?
Yeah.
I love it. But like you said, we're all friends. So
that's right.
What else did you get done last
So
night?
we completed the annexation and rezoning of the Lookout Crossing development. That's a large subdivision that will be, I think, a large 250 units, so not large for us, right? Out on the New Batson extension. So obviously there's targeted development out there that all fits within our growth plan. Go back to a couple months ago when we completed that growth plan. We needed to determine where growth's going to go and where it's not going to grow to make sure we grow responsibly. And the Batson Parkway was an area where, especially the extension, is an area that is prime for growth. The infrastructure's there, the roadway's there, all of that. So the board approved that on second reading last night, so I think the developer will be moving forward with that project, and so we'll see some development. And I think that's what people have said, well, why are we building an extension? There's nothing out on the original Batson Parkway except an elementary school and a college campus. Well,
sit tight.
that's because that's because it went nowhere, right? I mean,
exactly.
it went from Tom Austin, but it went to Black Patch. So now that you have two highways connected, you're going to see a lot more development in that area. And that's the area where the city is prepared and primed to grow.
That's a good I mean, really, if you look at, I don't know a lot about the city because I've been here since 92, but I'm still learning. But when you look at the in your mind, the maps, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so I think I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what's going to come in.
Yeah, and with this project, I think it was unique because there were some citizens that had some very legitimate concerns that were in that area.
Well, sure.
And they raised those concerns, and the developer, I think, from what I understand, was responsive to some of those and was able to hear them out and work through some things and so we appreciate people working together. Again, it goes back to that civility thing. We're not always going to agree, but we can be kind to one another, right?
Absolutely.
So they did that. We also embarked on the beginning stages of the project of upgrading the water line along Highway 257, which is the Betts Road. It goes from Tom Austin at the water tank all the way over and down Highway 257 that way. That's going to enable some of the growth that Coopertown is seeing. For us to service that water, we currently have an emergency connection that we're able to utilize to supply in that area with another utility district. A lot of engineering, utility stuff, but the bottom line is upgrading that line will allow us to get water. It's not a lack of water, it's a lack of the vehicle to get it there, right?
Yeah.
The line wasn't large enough, and so upsizing that line is going to allow water to get out there to service some of the growth that Coopertown has already approved.
And it means more water taps.
A couple of subdivisions, that's right, that are out there. We've had some issues of traffic, and I want to, parking, on-street parking. Our traffic committee has undertaken the study of this. So why are we having such an on-street parking issue now? Well, we have some subdivisions with 20 or 22 foot wide roads. That's the way they were put in. That's the way they were built. We also have vehicles that are being made much larger today. So I was talking to someone yesterday and talking about how a small pickup or a mid-size pickup now is the same size as a full-size pickup in the 90s or early 2000s, right? It's just the way.
Oh, yeah.
Same with the SUVs. I mean, a new Chevy Traverse is the same size as a Tahoe was 8 or 9 years ago, and so that means the Tahoes and Suburbans are larger and that sort of thing. So that creates more. When people park on the street, those are wider, longer vehicles, and so what problems do you end up with? Driveways blocked. All right, you end up with people not being able to turn out of their driveways. You end up with the garbage truck not being able to pick up, somebody's garbage can. You end up with the fire department not being able to get down a street because there's vehicles parked on both sides of the road. So we had a couple of subdivisions that had reached out to the alderman, had reached out to the staff, and asked us to look into those subdivisions about on-street parking. A couple of the HOAs. One was Village Green. That's for those that don't know where Village Green is. That's for those that have been around for a little bit, where the old Springfield Country Club was. And so the traffic committee looked at that. There were a few recommendations or a few requests that the HOA made. The traffic committee evaluated that, and it's always going to look at applying the least restrictive means to solving the problem and try to strike that balance. So they recommended no parking on one side of the road, which was the non-fire hydrant side, or no parking on the fire hydrant side and parking on the non-fire hydrant side. And lowered the speed limit in that subdivision to try to help with some of the speed concerns and that sort of thing. I think they had also requested speed bumps. I was telling the board last night, as a matter of practice, the city's never really done speed bumps. And there are reasons for that. A lot of cities are going away from speed bumps. What they've found is wear and tear on vehicles. As speed bumps, you constantly maintain them, or people's vehicles get damaged, and they want the taxpayers to pay for that for, a good reason. It could slow down emergency response when a fire engine has to come to, if there's speed bumps all the way through a subdivision, it's going to exponentially increase the fire engine response time, or the ambulance response time, or the police response time. So you have that, and you also have when we have snow and ice removal, right? And we have, unfortunately, we've had that. But when you can't see the speed bump there and you run, you're going to destroy and damage equipment. So there are a few reasons why cities are going away from speed bumps. Fortunately, we never really got into that, so we don't have any on public streets. And so that's kind of as a matter of practice, we haven't done that. Not to say that speed bumps can't be effective. They are effective at slowing down speed. I think what some cities and citizens are finding out is the cons outweigh the pros in that regard. So they requested those things. The traffic committee did make a recommendation to the board to limit the parking, because the board has the jurisdiction over the parking issue, and the board did follow through with that recommendation to try to limit parking to one side of the street to help with the driveways and help with the situation that the HOA and the homeowners are facing there. The other one was Oakland Farms and Saddlebrook. Their HOA had also requested similar things, no parking on both sides of the road. And the traffic committee recommended the same thing, which was one side of the street. The Board of Mayor and Aldermen did amend that based on the HOA's recommendation or request to do no parking on both sides of the street. I think in some areas the roads are wider there, and there's than they are in, the driveways are longer and are able to accommodate the off-street parking more so in Oakland Farms than they are in Village Green. So it seemed to be, I think their thought was it was more able to be accomplished, no parking, no on-street parking in Oakland Farms, where Village Green would have made that hard. The driveways are shorter, so you can't fit as many vehicles in the driveway and that sort of thing.
I can't imagine. I love living out in the country and having some acreage and not having to worry about that, because when I drive down streets and I think, well, this is annoying, but then where do they put their cars? Driving down Oak Street, and there's cars on both sides of the road. And it's like, and I can't imagine being a fire engine and trying to get down through there. So it is, it's a problem. So what is the situation on something like Oak Street? Is it, I mean, because that's a problem.
That is a major problem. That's something that the board has taken up a few times. The historic district is an extraordinarily large challenge from a parking perspective.
I can imagine.
Because, you're dealing with 100 plus year old lots and homes and platted subdivision there. And the issue there is some of those don't have some of those don't have parking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No.
So where are they? Yeah. If you do on-street parking, then there's nowhere to park. So that's the issue. So that is an unsolved, unresolved issue. And I call that, that's one of our old city problems. There are new cities that are, less than 50 years old that don't have problems like that. Yeah. And when you're a 200-year-old city, you end up with problems. Now, with the newer subdivisions, we can, every home has a garage. Every home is going to have the new, Lookout Crossing. There's no on-street parking that'll be allowed in that subdivision, but the road width is going to be 26 feet. Have a bike lane. The driveways will be a certain width and depth to make sure it can accommodate cars and have a garage. So that problem can be resolved or assisted moving forward, but the historic district is a really, really tough one.
I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine. And I think about, I'm one of these, I suppose, because I go through there all the time going over to Epiphany for our CR on Tuesday night, and I just look at those cars. I'm like, where would you put them? If I had a house here, what would I do? I would take out part of my yard and put a driveway in, I think, or put a parking place or something. But I'm going off the subject, and we're going to run out of time. What else have you got that you need to cover?
So a couple more things. The board did approve to order a new fire engine last night, and it would encumber funds in a future budget. And the reason it would have to encumber funds in a future budget is because the current lead time for a fire apparatus is about 48 months.
Wow.
From the day you order it, you'll get your fire engine delivered in 48 months, in 4 years.
Wow.
So,
yeah, Mayor Vogel talks about that all the time with ambulances and everything. That's incredible.
It's a challenge. And we also saw an increase of about $250,000, $260,000 in the price, which was very disappointing because it's the same fire engine that we just purchased, a couple years ago, and getting that delivered now. But 2 years ago, we made that purchase, and some of that has to do with new EPA regulations on the engines and that sort of thing. So, but 48 months, so that's the lead time. That's part of the difficult.
How much did you say again?
It's $1.1 million.
It's insane.
$1.12 million for a fire engine.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's tough.
Wow. Man.
So that's a very, very, very expensive. So I did that last night. Couple things I'll hit before we head out the door here is one thing that came up, and I wish I had been able to make it last month to talk about this, because this thing I think grew legs and spread, is we entered into an agreement with a company to purchase license plate readers.
Yep.
And I think there was some misunderstanding about what those were going to do, and that Big Brother was all of a sudden taking over. First of all, license plate readers have been in use here in our community in Robertson County for 10 or 12 years. Private businesses have license plate readers in Springfield. Other law enforcement agencies have license plate readers. What do license plate readers do, and what do they not do? They don't write tickets. Right. They're not tracking to see where you're going and what you're doing. What happens if your vehicle gets stolen? Okay, so if your vehicle gets stolen, we're able to put that into the database, and as soon as that vehicle crosses one of those license plate readers, we know where your vehicle is.
Isn't that convenient?
What happens if you have an Amber Alert? You have a missing child, an abducted child, and somebody got a license plate number. That's what that license plate reader is there to do, right? If you have a homicide suspect, somebody saw a vehicle flee in the scene and got a tag number, we're able to do that. We are not interested in we're interested in how fast you're going. Don't hear me say that, because we want people to be safe. But the license plate readers particularly are not interested in how fast you're going, or where you're going, or anything. It doesn't, it's not saying, okay, well, LaVern went here today, and overall she went over here the next day. That has nothing to do with that. It's hits on a database. That's kind of what is so if there's when it scans a license plate, the way I understand is it checks every license plate kind of real fast against to see if it's one of the license plates that's it's needed in an Amber Alert, or a silver alert, or a stolen vehicle, or something like that, and then it moves on. So that's the way license plate readers work, and I think private businesses, particularly in Springfield and other areas, use them for shoplifting. Law enforcement uses them for things like I mentioned, missing children, dangerous, suspects, and things like that. So I don't want people to get. This is designed to help you, right? And I know that sounds bad to say, but it's designed to make sure that if your vehicle gets stolen or something happens to a child, that we can find that, right? And that's what we want to do. Amen. That's what you want us to do. And so it's a tool in the tool belt to help with that. Also, last couple things, the Christmas parade is December the 7th.
Yay, I can't wait.
Saturday, December 7th, it's upon us, so we want everybody to, if you want to put in a float, I think that registration's still available, still open on our website. If not, attend. Hopefully it's great weather.
I'll be there.
It'll be a great Christmas parade, and also Winter Wonderland opens that night. Yes. So Winter Wonderland usually brings about 20,000 plus visitors to our city, and so we're excited again for a big feature at Winter Wonderland out at Travis Price Park.
I'm planning on being at both. So
well, good.
I was there in the drizzle last year, and it was just fine. I put on my winter hat and had fun.
That's right.
It was a good time. We had a great time, and it's just a beautiful parade. If you've missed, we have the best stuff here. Yeah. We're awesome. Anything else?
That's it.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Ryan Martin, his office is open. If you need to reach out to him, just contact him. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so
say that real quick.
Reach us at City Hall, 615-382-2200. You can follow us on social media. Sign up for our newsletter. We want you to know everything that's going on. Yes. Send us a message on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Natasha Tice is our public affairs coordinator. She's very responsive. She'll direct you where you need to go.
Outstanding. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
God bless you. And thank you guys for joining us. Now, this is Wednesday, so we've got the Go Show coming up, but we've got special guests. Brother T is handling the Go Show, so I'm going to let him come on here. I'm going to sign out just a minute early so we can get him switched over. But thank you for joining us for One Street Over. This is